of Allegiance. Please join with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. He's online? Okay. Sorry we didn't include you in the roll call, Jared, but I hear that you are with us. Thank you for joining us. Before us now is the approval of tonight's agenda. Do we have a motion?
I move for the approval of the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the resolution to approve our agenda has been approved. For us next is a resolution regarding our minutes. Do we have a motion?
I move that the board approves the minutes from the work session and workshop meetings of January 9th, 2024.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any discussion is there discussion from board members? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the resolution has been approved. This part of our meeting is public participation. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board regarding agenda items or other matters of concern. Presently, we have two participants wishing to engage in conversation. First being Ms. Sherry Anderson. Would you please take your place at the podium, and since you did request time, you have 5 minutes with the board.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm Sherry Anderson. I teach 6th grade social studies at Kern Middle School. I have more than 30 years of experience in teaching. I'm the building representative at Kern for the Council Bluffs Education Association and also the grievance chair at that building. Okay. Last time I was here, I suggested an experiment, 2 weeks with no meetings. Have you considered implementing that? I am joined by almost 700 teachers who hope you will. Tonight I'm going to talk about progressive discipline with improving our district as the goal. Everyone knows that we have great, wonderful students in Council Bluffs. Most of the kids are mostly well-behaved most of the time. And we have systems in place to help deal with that. We have MTSS, we have restorative practices, we're trauma-informed, and all of these are positive protocols. What we need to add is progressive discipline. So progressive discipline is the process of using increasingly severe steps or measures when a student fails to correct their behavior after they've given a reasonable opportunity to do so. Progressive discipline seeks concurrent accountability and behavior change. The goal is prevention of negative behavior by helping students learn from their mistakes. Progressive discipline helps students who engage in unacceptable behavior understand what they've done wrong, what they could do differently, the impact of their actions on others, and to help them understand the progression of more serious consequences if their behavior recurs. Progressive discipline helps students take responsibility for their behavior and gives opportunities for the kids to learn and use pro-social strategies moving forward. So the consequences I'm talking about should be predictable, reasonable, motivational, and consistent, designed to prevent, deter, and change negative behavior. the consequences might change in severity depending on the severity of the offense and the number of recurrences. An administrator of my building said to me, "We don't have bad kids. We have great kids who make bad choices." I think that's mostly true. And for the kids who repeatedly make those choices, I think we need to have a progressive discipline structure that's predictable and reasonable that they can depend on to help them grow. They need to understand what will happen if their misbehavior occurs. So I was looking at our MTSS guidance. We have 5 groups of behaviors and interventions, ranging from truancy and dress code violations, which is group 1, all the way up to possession of drugs and possession of a weapon, which is group 5. If it's the student's first incident, the first intervention is in-school conference with the student and conference with the parent. Whether the student violates the dress code or brings a knife, it's conference with the student and conference with the parent. According to guidance from Progressive Discipline, if we look at the dress code violation, it's the same. It's conference with the student and then get them into compliance with the dress code. But if it continues, then they would have detention, suspension, referrals, and all of that would be predictable because it would have been explained to the student on their first infraction. But if we look at possession of drugs, the first intervention according to Progressive Discipline is suspension. There's no conference, there's no parent, it's suspension because the severity is different. And if they bring a weapon, the first incident, suspension. It could be in-school suspension or out of school, but it's not a conference because that's not appropriate for the severity of the infraction.
30 seconds, Sherry, please.
Okay. So I've talked to some teachers, and I have the teachers are telling me that conferencing works unless it doesn't. So I have a teacher who told me that by December 14th, when I met with her, she had written 58 referrals of violence and threats of violence toward her and toward other students. So my point is, that kid needs progressive discipline because the conferencing isn't helping him change his behavior. And if we're trauma informed, we can't allow that kid to continue to threaten and cause violence in that classroom. So I had an administrator ask me, what suggestions do you have of progressive discipline? And I also hope you will all come visit Kern and say hi to me and come into the classroom and see what's going on. Thank you for your time, and I didn't go over. Thank you.
Thank you. We also had Lacey Witowski. Please correct me.
It's Wadaszewski.
Wadaszewski, okay.
I don't blame you for not getting it. All right. I would like to, I'm sorry, am I
Nope.
ready or no? Not
No,
ready?
you're good. We were
Okay.
just
Sorry.
phonetically writing your name down.
Phonetically writing it out. I
Yep.
understand. Sometimes I still have to do that, and I've had it for, well, I don't need to name the amount of years, but. All right. I want to give just a little bit of context to my main point of why I wanted to come and talk to you guys today. On the evening of October 11th, my daughter had actually sent an email to a faculty member at Wilson Middle School expressing that bullying was occurring in her math classroom. She gave specific examples. She explained how it was repetitive, it was continuous, it was experienced by multiple students, not just herself. She also included that the teacher actually failed to intervene any of those times that this had been happening. After I had read the email that she had initially sent, I went back and looked at the district handbook, and she basically summed up the definition that this district puts in their handbook of what bullying actually means. So That's how she had expressed it on the 11th. On the 13th, 2 days later, I actually got a call in the morning from my daughter who was crying in a bathroom stall. And she had expressed that that same bully had come back to her classroom, was standing in the doorway of her class, held up her fist toward her, and started yelling in the doorway. Don't ask the teachers. Apparently he was already asked and he saw and heard nothing, so that would lead you down a road that does not help. So it took from there, obviously, I immediately went and just picked my daughter up from school. She missed about 4 days of school. Because of all this, she didn't feel safe. She wasn't safe, and understandably so. I wouldn't either. It took 3 phone calls with administration, 1 to the SRO, and then finally 1 to the superintendent's office. Shout out to Melissa Comine if she is here. I'm not sure if she is, but she was the only one who actually did something and who actually listened to what I said and could repeat back to me what I was expressing, which is, it just blows my mind that she was the first person in 4 conversations with 6+ different people who could actually repeat back what I wanted and what I wanted to see through this situation. So that's kind of the context leading up to why I wanted to point out 2 comments that were made by faculty/administration at Wilson Middle School. During one conversation that I had, one of the faculty members had mentioned, quote, "Your daughter didn't appear to be bullied." So my daughter was reporting bullying occurring, happening to not only her, but other people in the classroom. And someone had said, "Your daughter didn't appear to be bullied." I was unaware that bullying had an appearance. I know we can probably pull up many stories of it doesn't always look like sadness or crying or never wanting to return to school. It can look complete opposite of that. And that was extremely disturbing that that comment was made. Second comment that I got from a administration member was, quote, "It's not like she was standing that close to your daughter." Just to pause for a quick second. When my daughter reported bullying, and I had spoken to a member of administration from that school, I was told it's not like she was standing that close to your daughter. Those 2 comments make me super sad, first of all. Not just for my daughter, but for all of these kids in this room, for all the kids that walk into Council Bluffs Community Schools on a daily basis. Do you know how close do bullies have to get? When is it taken seriously? I asked 3 different times if a safety plan would be implemented, and each time I was told a safety plan would not be implemented. My hope overall is that this is not a shared view or shared comments of bullying from other people in other schools. Hopefully this is just a coincidence that the 2 people I spoke with had comments that were like this. So hopefully it's not shared, but my hope is that you take this and it's actually discussed and something's learned from it, because none of us want to be on the receiving end of what it could look like if a bully gets too close. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, did we have any other? We did not. So we will move then to our superintendent report. Dr. Murillo, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kozire. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Comine and we're starting with students, correct? I'm a little confused because I don't have Diane. Diane just did it all and just kind of walked me through it. Ms. Comine to come to and join me at the podium. This evening, we are celebrating some elementary and middle school students, and we also have our AL dance team with us this evening. So super excited to celebrate all these students, and Ms. Comine, the floor is yours. Now, I see the table is in a different area, So, but Ms. Comine is going to direct me, and Mr. Kozire, if you'd like to join me, since we have so many stars to hand out this evening, we can tag team. So, Ms. Comine, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo. I'll give you and Mr. Kozire an opportunity to walk up, and we'll kind of help you with the stars as well. All right, so thank you. Super excited that we have a couple different groups that we're going to recognize today. We are going to start with our Special Olympics State Bowling, and we have two sets of students. We have elementary students and also middle school students, and our students are so super busy that some people are able to be here, which is great, but some of our students are participating in other activities tonight, so they're not able to be here, but I am going to say their name and make sure that I can publicly also say that we will have this really cool star delivered to their school so every student receives their prize today. So we're going to start. So tonight we have the honor of recognizing our elementary and middle school students who qualified for the Special Olympics State Bowling. These students earned first place in their age level at the Southwest Iowa Regional Special Olympic event, which qualified them for the state bowling event, which is really, really awesome and cool. The team is coached by Nicole Vetter, who's not able to be here tonight, and she made a point to let me know to state that the team performed exceptionally well at the state bowling event. So we're going to start with our elementary students. We have a student from Carter Lake, and it is Michael Gunn Brock. So if Michael can come up to the front. Okay. We'll come back to him. Okay. And I did try to take attendance as everybody came in, so if I missed somebody, I apologize. But Zoe Sharp is also from Carter Lake, and Zoe's not able to be here today, but we wanted to publicly recognize Zoe. From College View, we have Mason Bonham. Mason is here tonight. And we'll have you stay up there. And then we have two more students from College View who are not able to be here tonight, Landon Harrell and Dixie Liddick. We're also on the team. At Franklin Elementary, we have Lincoln Belt. And then also from Franklin, Rylan Hansen, who's not able. Oh, Rylan did come in. Yay! You made my night, Rylan. From Roosevelt Elementary School, these two students are not able to be here tonight, but we have Hudson Johnson and Sebastian Poff. And then, let's see, did Michael have a chance to get back? We didn't give him a lot of time. Michael is back. So Michael Gunn Brock from Carter Lake. Yes, so this is our elementary team, so we're going to take lots of pictures. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move into our middle school students. We have a student from Kern Middle School with us tonight. Her name is Maddie Honig. And then we have quite a few other current students who are participating in other activities tonight, and they're not able to be here, but they are Alan Adams, Anthony Adams, Lacey Gillespie, Sophia Paulson, and Tyson Penry. So they were also on the team. And then at Wilson, we have Maritza Flores here tonight. Haley Martins. We have Caden Ryan. And then we have one Wilson student who's not able to be here tonight, and his name is Jake Balayat, and we'll make sure that he also gets his star tonight.
Big smile. Big smile.
Okay. Yes, all right. We're also recognizing the Abraham Lincoln High School dance team who placed 4th at state with a division. So not only did they place 4th at state with a Division I rating in both jazz and pom, their choreography was by Madeline DeVault, but this is the first time Abraham Lincoln has placed in the jazz division, which also included scoring higher than the previous year's defending champions, and the first time the team has placed in multiple single discipline categories. The Abraham Lincoln dance team is coached by head coach Rachel Neal and assistant coach Alexis Pissarro, and the head coach is here today, so she can be recognized as well. So our AL dance team members are, the first one is at a basketball game tonight, and her name is Allie Baumbach. Lily Boland is here. Lexi Brockman is not able to be here tonight, but she was also on the team. Oh, she did come. Wonderful. Okay. So Lexi Brockman. We also have Presley Cannon. Taylor Ebertowski. Annette Fitch. Sonia Fitch. Regan Hotz. Leah Johnson. Madeline Pitzer. Kylie Reyes. Ella Schmitz. Sylvia Stott. And Eliana Weilich.
Can you guys figure out a picture for me? Oh, mine?
Yes, and we would like to invite the coach up as well. And Miss Fellows, would you like to come up as well, please?
Kind of go behind him, we'll put him in front.
Everybody got a window, right?
Mrs. Fitch wants a picture.
Yes, I'd like to go first, though.
All right, good evening. I would like to honor our December Employees of the Month. I'm pleased to introduce to you our December Employees of the Month, and we'd like to thank all the buildings and departments that nominated people over the last month. We'd also like to thank the Council Bluffs School Foundation for sponsoring this recognition program, which allows us to provide our star trophy and to our honorees, as well as a dinner gift certificate directly from the foundation. So, our licensed staff member of the month is third grade Carter Lake teacher, Miss Tiffany Smith. Tiffany, could you join us at the podium? Tiffany's nominators shared the following. Tiffany has done an excellent job at maintaining high expectations this school year. The students trust and respect her classroom. For the occasional struggling student, she has done awesome work with relationship building and communication. Ms. Smith is a leader amongst her grade level and our staff. She models two major priorities, being well-planned and holding students to high expectations for both behavior and academics. She continually reflects on how she can increase student understanding and finds unique ways to meet students' needs where they're at. She has shown the Carter Lake love for many years and deserves recognition for all the time, sweat, and tears she's put in for the betterment of our students and our community. Congratulations, Tiffany. Tiffany was joined by her husband, Tony, this evening. Congratulations, Tony, yeah. All right, next I would like to honor our support staff member of the month, which is Bryce Griffin, our communications specialist. Congratulations, Bryce. Bryce's nominators shared the following. Bryce is a tremendous asset to the communication team and for the entire school district. He's become a true cheerleader for our students, staff, and school district. He's fueled by the excitement of a photo that captures that great moment, a post that goes viral locally, or a good news story that generates positive conversation. He gets to know the students and cheers them on at the many events he attends, even on the weekends and evenings. And we would say he was personally responsible for sparking the high school level of interest in securing the ALTJ football game as the KTV Game of the Week with a record number of votes cast that week. Yeah. He also stepped up this fall to create engaging content for the video board at the WIC and also for the video scoreboards in the high school gyms. And he provides most of the outstanding photos for our Achieve magazine, our website, and social media. He's constantly reviewing the social media feeds of our schools and partners to ensure that the district is engaging with stakeholders and promoting all the achievements and special events throughout the district. Bryce, this is critical as we strive to break through the clutter to share our story, and you're a major part of that. Through his photos, videos, social media posts, and graphic designs, Bryce is helping to share our story of the many ways our students achieve more in and out of the classroom. Congratulations. And Bryce is joined by his parents and grandparents here tonight as well. So, yeah.
I don't know if I'm speaking on behalf of the board members or not, but this is one of my favorite times of the year, along with graduation, where we get to honor our students for their achievements and for our staff who help our students achieve more. Thank you again for giving us time during this meeting to recognize those students and staff members that are so important to us. Before us now is our resolution section of the board meeting. First order of business is the appointment of the member to the Pottawatomie County Assessors Conference Board. Do we have a motion?
I move to appoint Teresa Hardman to serve on the Pottawatomie County Assessors Conference Board for a one-year term beginning in 2024.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, before us now is a resolution to appoint Ms. Hardiman to the Pottawatomie County Assessors Conference Board for the term of 1 year. Mrs. Ostrowski, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Peters,
Yes.
Ms. Greiner,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Tripp, Dr. Rosello,
Yes.
and I'm gonna do Mrs. Hardiman.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Kozire.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the resolution has been approved. Before us now, we have a resolution regarding our employee handbook. Is there a motion?
I motion that the board approves the employee handbook revisions as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
So it looks like most of the revisions are around the remote learning and guidance, after the new legislation for new remote days and everything. It looks good. Just for the public. I'm glad it's especially mentioned, like what happens as far as any, like non-instructional staff as far as what happens on those days. I thought that was really good.
Yes. What Mr. Milborn and his team did was really provide clarity around that day, since it is something new for our district and new for our students.
And it's good to hear that there's, input, from the labor management committees as well, so that's good.
Hearing no further discussion, before us now is a resolution to approve the revisions to the employee handbook. Mrs. Ostrowski, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Greiner,
Yes.
Ms. Myers, excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. Peters,
Yes.
Mr. Tripp, Mrs. Hardiman,
Yes.
Dr. Rosello,
Yes.
Mr. Kozire.
Yes. And the motion to approve the employee handbook revisions has passed. For us now, we have some repair work that needs to be attended to at Carter Lake Elementary School. Is there a motion?
A motion that the board approves Engineering Technology, Inc., Architects Professional Services for the TJHS ERV-3.
Pardon me.
Oh, am I too far?
Yep, you went one too far. We're on the
Oh, I'm on
cornice.
Elkhorn. How about I read that one?
Cornice, yeah, cornice replacement, yes.
Okay, I move to extend the bid from Elkhorn West Construction in the amount of $544,000 for cornice repair at Carter Lake.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Could we possibly?
I'm kind of,
Yeah, could we talk about this one? Yeah.
right. You remember last summer that we had to repair the work at College View, and both of the buildings are built the same. And so there was some leakage in both buildings. And we knew because of our budget, we had to do one building first and the second. And so this is our second. And what we're really thankful for, and John, if I get off, I hear so much that I think I can retain everything, but because we're extending and using the same contractor, we can use the same designs. If you remember, the first one was almost $1 million. This is significantly less because we're extending and working with the same contractor. We felt like they did good work. It was stretched out a little bit more, if you remember correctly, to lower the bid. We had to give them a longer period of time. This work will be able to begin in the summer, so that's really good. Mr. Stiles, is there anything else you'd add? Yeah, we have over 40 leaks right now in Carter Lake. And it just, from when Mr. Myers was here, who was our, really our owner's rep, working with our construction projects, he was able to really help Mr. Stiles identify what that cause is for those buildings.
And I'm glad to see on there that even though, we're sticking with the same contractor and everything, they already know, our district requirements as far as background checks of the workers and everything. I was glad to see that. That's important. Mhm.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move forward with the roll call. Before us now is the approval of the cornice replacement at Carter Lake Elementary School. Ms. Ostrowski, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Rosello?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp? Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Griner?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? You already voted? And Mr. Kozire?
Yes. And the motion to approve the cornice replacement has passed. Before us now is work at Thomas Jefferson High School regarding ERV and a rooftop heat pump.
I move that the board approves Engineering Technology, Inc., ETI, Architects Professional Services for the TJ ERV-3 and RTHP-2 replacement for $22,000 or $22,600 as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
So this one kind of took me a little bit by surprise. Is this part of the master building schedule? Was this already on there, or was there?
It is something that we kind of, I guess, I don't want to say happened upon, but I know Mr. Stiles has worked with this, and I'll let him kind of bring you up to speed.
Yeah, so these units were aging, and we thought we might get a few more years out of them. And it's possible to do some repairs to them, but the issue being is they're using older coolant, and if we were to do those repairs, we probably wouldn't last but a couple of years.
Okay, I think I can remember now. Okay.
And yes, they are part of the master facility plan.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No. And we had the presentation on it. Okay. I'm remembering now. My apologies.
You're good.
Yeah. Snow day that gets us all.
But I do really appreciate John's attention to this, because the one thing we don't want to do in the winter is have them go down and we can't bring them back up. And we want to make sure that if we can do this versus the Band-Aid and then in 2 to 3 years do even more.
So just for clarification, this is to hire the architect.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I get that. Cool.
And judging by the numbers, is this like the third unit of the ERV and the second unit of the heat pumps, or are there multiples of the same that will need to be repaired, or have they been repaired, or does that make sense? Sorry.
So John, explain to her what the numbers mean when they, down here.
It's the
ERV
units.
3.
It's unit 1, unit 2, unit 3.
So are there going to be more that need to be replaced?
We believe that these are the units that need to be replaced at this time.
But we'll know that exactly after we approve this plan for them to go in and really look at that.
Thanks.
Okay. So
then-
there could. Oh.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was just seeing that the 16 weeks for the tight schedule, so that would bring us into summertime, correct? Mhm.
But then related to what Ms. Griner had mentioned, that, if we do, get into this and there's discovery that there might possibly be additional work, there might be an additional, amendment. Okay.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. Cool.
If there's no further discussion, before us now is a resolution to approve the professional services for the Thomas Jefferson ERV and rooftop heat pump replacements. Ms. Ostrowski, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Griner?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp? Mrs. Hardeman?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes. The resolution to approve the professional services has passed. Before us now is our consent agenda. Is there a motion?
move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And those items included in our consent agenda are that we gratefully acknowledge and accept donations from McDonald's Fries for School Supplies fundraiser in the amount of $1,035.48. The SBRC Spending Authority request for our 2024-2025 dropout prevention, the approval of the travel fair agreement, the approval of special education contracts for students placed outside of Council Bluffs community school districts, and those schools include Heartland School of Omaha, Goodwill Industries, and Clayton Ridge, along with our personnel actions, claims, and accounts. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, before us is a resolution to approve our consent agenda. Mrs. Ostrowski, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Ozello?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Ms. Greiner?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp? Mr. Kozire?
Yes. And the resolution to approve our consent agenda has passed. Before us now is our adjournment. One thing that we did prior to our board meeting was we had the opportunity to meet with the principals of all of our schools, elementary, middle, and high school, to learn about the school improvement plans that each one of the principals and their teams are implementing in their schools so that we can have our students achieve more. One of the things that we had two speakers tonight. I know that in our policy, I'm sure that we do have progressive discipline when we look at, I believe that's what we passed recently in our new policies that talked about the different levels of response to behavior. So I know that the board has addressed that, and one thing that we all are concerned with is bullying, and I hope that we can find a way to do a better job so that we can learn about what it takes to respond to those concerns of bullying. And I hope that we as a board can help support you in making that message clear to the staff that we expect that we have a safe environment for not only our students but our staff to be able to learn. So with that, we've had a nice meeting tonight, learned about what we need to do, and again, we had a wonderful time honoring our students and staff for the great things that happen. With that, we move to adjournment, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.